Welcome back to more Pokemon Crystal Randomized. For some reason, I'm doubting myself from the last episode, because I don't honestly remember if I said Pokemon Crystal or not. I might have said Pokemon Red, and I don't know, and if I did, sorry. Sort of a slip of the brain. And there is something flying overhead. Cool, great, awesome, fantastic, wonderful, excellent, amazing. I mean, considering, again, where we're at right now, like, I live in California, and we're currently, the entire state's on fire, and pretty much all the west coast of the United States are on fire, too. It makes sense that there are planes flying overhead, because they're refueling and getting all sorts of, getting, like, water and all sorts of other chemicals to try to stop the flames. So, we'll see what happens. I don't know what anymore. I've already run out of things to talk about, and we're like a minute into this episode. Cool, great. It happens sometimes. How many? Jeez, this guy's got a good team. Glad I get to fight him, because I get a bunch of experience points. Oh, I don't really know anymore. Maybe I should go to recording these episodes less frequently, because I do these in, like, sort of batches. I do need the stinking batches. And most of the time I think it works out fine, because I get to record anywhere from 3 to 5 days worth of content in one go, and I don't really have to think about, oh, I have to record this on this day, and I have to record this again on this day, and all that sort of thing. I don't have to think about that. I just do a bunch of things at once and not really have to think about it for another few days. And, oh boy, Snorlax. But there are times where it kind of feels like recording in a batch isn't necessarily the best. To me, I don't know. It just kind of depends, because some days are better than others as far as having, like, the gumption to record and trying to figure out what I want to talk about, or even if I have anything specifically that I want to talk about at the beginning. Because sometimes I don't, and now I'm just realizing something. I'm really hoping that I actually recorded starting... Okay, good, I did. Sorry, I just panicked for a second because I couldn't remember if I started recording OBS. Okay, we're fine. For some reason, I thought I hadn't started recording, and now I'm panicking because I don't think I actually shut off... Okay, good, I did. Sorry, This is kind of what happens sometimes, is sometimes I don't trust my brain that I did certain things. I don't know why that happens sometimes, but there are definitely times where I think to myself, did I actually do that? And I don't remember, and I have to check. Like, did I actually start recording OBS? And did I actually shut off the microphone on OBS? Because sometimes I've forgotten to do that. Like, I haven't forgotten to start recording OBS, but there are points where, I'm right here in this recording, and it's like, crap, did I actually remember to start recording? Because it's just, for some reason, like, my brain doubts my own capabilities, and I don't know. I don't know why it is, but why that happens, but it does, and it gets frustrating sometimes, because I should trust myself that I have actually started doing something when I meant to, but I guess I just don't have that much confidence in myself to be able to realize, like, did I do this? Okay, I don't know, I have to check. Instead of just thinking, no, I definitely did, and then finding out that I didn't, and kind of regretting it, but who knows. So I'm glad I checked, because I wouldn't have known otherwise, and if I had actually not started recording, then there would have been quite a bit of content that we'd lost, but it's okay. Not quite a bit, like 1.5 episodes. It's not a huge loss. It's not like I lost like 6 episodes of something, but also at the same time, I don't think I could record 6 episodes of anything in one go. Just because, I gotta get up and move around and do stuff in the meanwhile. I don't know. Like, I was previously, obviously, like, with the different recording schedule, and especially with doing the FTL videos, all the, like, one run, all in one sitting, then that was rough, because when you're recording 2+ hours in a row, I mean, it's one thing if you do this for a living. If this is like your job, then that's fine. If this is how your main income works, then yeah, you're probably used to doing this, but you're also probably used to taking frequent breaks when you're recording or when you're live streaming or whatever. And I've never been very good at sort of keeping myself up with all that sort of stuff, with like taking breaks and sort of monitoring myself just to make sure that things are a-okay. Because especially when I was doing a fair amount of broadcasting on Twitch, and we're talking, this is from a while ago, it's not from recently, because I haven't really had the chance to do much Twitch broadcasting recently, but I wouldn't take breaks regularly, and that was definitely detrimental for several reasons. So I have to get better at taking breaks and just sort of trying to relax a bit and not stress too much about everything as much as I can. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but hey, I do what I can. Okay, what are we doing here? Oh, this guy's a trainer. So anyway, I don't know where I'm going with all that, but I have to remind myself to just kind of relax and just enjoy the run, you know? That's kind of just how I try to take video games in general. I try not to stress about it. I try not to get worked up. I try not to get too worked up over it. Most of the time it works. Sometimes it doesn't. But, I really don't see the point in getting worked up over them. Like, don't get me wrong. There are certainly some games that can get me, that really, they get me in a bad way. And most of those games I stop playing after a while because I don't really see the point in getting angry at a video game. I was much worse about this when I was much younger, obviously, because I was a young and very stupid guy. In my 20s or so, I think I had a lot of anger issues. I definitely did have a lot of anger issues. Most of those have dissipated, thankfully. Okay, so we did that. Is there an item up here? I don't remember. No. Wait, there's an item up there. How do you get there? Oh, you just walk over here. Sharp. That's my second sharp beak. Who's taking beaks off of birds? That's disturbing right there. Anyway. I did used to have a lot of anger issues, not just even related to video games, but just in life. Like, probably one of the more embarrassing moments of my life was, actually there are a couple of them. I know one of them is relating to Mario Party 3, which if you've ever played that game, you can understand how frustrating that game can be, or just any of the early Mario Party games. But there was a time, I don't remember the exact circumstances that caused this to happen, but it was probably something like I was playing just solo against 3 computer players or 2 computer players or whatever, and one of them probably had just picked up a star, and then they probably walked in front of a boo and then stole one of my stars or something. Whatever they did, alright, I forgot to use repel. But whatever had happened, it caused me to get so mad at the game that I turned it off, I ripped the game out of my N64, and I threw it against the wall as hard as I could. And the game didn't break. Like the shell, the case around it cracked. Like it cracked open a little bit, but it didn't, like, the game still functioned. I just had to squeeze it shut a little bit in order to play the game. But it's things like that they stick out in my brain, and I wish they wouldn't, because I don't like those kinds of memories. I don't like how angry I got at games and everything. And it just, I I don't need to remind myself of all that kind of, all the negativity that I had in my mind for many years. And I still do, somewhat, just not as much as before. Just, I think, because I've grown up a bit, you know, I'm more of an adult, like a human person who does things and interacts with the world, then at least I'd like to think that I don't. I'm definitely not as angry as I used to be, thankfully. Still, sometimes it'll still appear, but it's much rarer than it used to be. Just because it's like, for me, like, anger just doesn't. I'm not saying it's useless, but it's definitely not helpful in the long run. So I try not to get mad about stuff, and I don't really feel like I get mad at a lot of stuff, so it's not really a big problem anyway. But it happens sometimes. So, anyway. Don't know where I was going with that at all, but one thing that I do kind of like about being able to sort of just talk about stuff instead of talking about the game specifically is it does actually make a lot of the gameplay. Oops, where am I going? Like I said, it's called Gaming Blind for a reason, because I can't see where I'm going sometimes. I do like the fact that when I talk about stuff other than the game, it actually makes the gameplay go by, to me, a little bit faster, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, like, I enjoy playing these games a lot. Don't get me wrong. But I do like the fact that I can play the games and not feel like I'm sort of slogging through them, if that makes any sense. What's his name up here somewhere? Go fight the Suicune guy. Is he up here? Yeah, there he is. Oh, there's just Horsey. Sorry, not Suicune. Bye! I might as well face him just to get the extra experience points, right? No reason not to. Okay. But yeah, it feels kind of nice to just be able to talk about other stuff. And I know I keep saying that, but I think it just bears repetition that it feels good to be able to talk about stuff other than just the game. Because a lot of the times, if all I do is talk about the game, I feel like I kind of get bogged down in details with the games. And I like just being able to talk about other stuff if I want to. I can obviously, if I really feel like talking about the game a lot, I can talk about the game a lot, but I also just like being able to talk about whatever. Like if I want to talk about what's happening in the world today, or talking about anger, or talking about doom scrolling, or talking about all sorts of other stuff. Because I do have a decent amount of stuff that I can talk about that's happened in life and everything. I'll probably share it over the course of however long I end up running this channel. Because I'm trying, well, I'm not going to say I'm trying, but I've had other YouTube channels in the past, and some of them have lasted longer than others. Okay, got that. The last one that I started was actually, God, how long ago was that? That was a very long time ago, actually. The last YouTube channel that I had was, when was that? Like 5 or 6 years ago, I think. So I haven't done a whole lot of, just of like any sort of content creation outside of my podcast for the last few years. Because I've tried to get back on Twitch several times, and things work for a while, and then something inevitably kind of derails that. But yeah, I mean, like my last YouTube channel was a long time ago, and it lasted for like a month, and I got burnt out from doing content. And this was when I didn't have a job. I didn't have a full-time job, so I was putting as much of my concentration as I could into doing it. And I was admittedly doing, I was, as probably a lot of other YouTube Let's Players were trying to do at the time, we were trying to follow the same sort of lead as Game Grumps, which was they were putting out just an absolute crap ton of content, like every day. They were putting out 2 or 3 videos a day for different games, and I tried to do that. I tried to emulate that, and it was definitely not working because, first off, I don't feel like I have. I definitely will admit I don't have the charisma or the incredible joke capacity of an Aaron Hansen or a Dan Avedon, or I don't really want to talk too much about JonTron because the guy's a horrible person, but you know what I mean. Just like I don't have that kind of, like, I sometimes will have decently quick mental capabilities. Sometimes I don't. It just depends on how awake I am and whether or not I decided to have coffee in the morning, which coffee I don't have every day, which is probably for the best because I don't know. There's lots of reasons why I shouldn't, but you know, sometimes I'm better at this than others. Some days I'm better at this than others. It just kind of depends on a lot of things. But anyway, the last time I did a YouTube channel was a very long time ago. It was back, I was trying to do like 2 to 3 videos a day of different games, do like 10 minutes of video a day. And it worked for a little while, but I just got burnt out on it. And, you know, it's not like I wasn't getting like 500 views or 1,000 views or whatever on these videos. I was getting like 2 or 3 views because it was, that was sort of at that point where YouTube was there were already at that point so many other people making content that it was like there's not really much of a chance for someone else to be able to sort of break into. Wow, that survived, huh? I forgot Mantine has incredibly high special defense. There were so many people already making Let's Play content and just so many people just making content in general. And that number has only risen as the years have gone by. But I think the difference between then and now is that back then I was sort of expecting to have like success within the first few weeks or month or something. It's like, oh, I'll probably get 100 subscribers in the first month. That's not how YouTube works anymore. So I was kind of hoping to be able to like turn that into like a business venture of sorts. And when it didn't happen in a relatively short amount of time, then I just kind of gave up on it. Because I was also just, I was much more impatient back then than I am now. Because now, well, of course, I also was, like I said, I was hoping for that to turn into some sort of money-making venture, which it wasn't going to for a very long time. So I don't really know what I was expecting out of it. Like I said, I was kind of a dumb kid. Hey, it's one of my favorite Pokemon. Hi, Psyduck. Or Psyduck. God damn. Hi, Farfetch'd. Bye, Farfetch'd. Whoops. I don't know how to come back from that. That's just embarrassing. Anyway. Yeah, I think just the fact that I have a job, even though it's not my favorite thing to do in the world, it still allows me the luxury of being able to... Oh my god, there's an ice move. This still allows me the luxury of being able to actually, like be able to do this and not feel the pressure to turn it into some sort of a money-making thing. Because that was a problem that I had a lot with Twitch, and my issues, not my issues with Twitch, but my issues with how I was approaching Twitch and that sort of thing. Can I learn Ice Punch? Oh my god, I can learn Ice Punch. I'm sorry, Fire Blast, but I need an ice move. That's just too good of a move to skip. Yeah, oops, I forgot to teach Fly to somebody. Let's do that. I wonder if I can... Can I teach it to Bellossom? No, Bellossom can't learn Fly. Of course, Articuno can learn Fly. A little late to try to make yourself useful, but that's okay. Anyway, I think that's probably good enough for today. We did a fair amount of stuff. You know, we got the secret potion. We got another badge. We're halfway through badges, I think. And we can, let's see, Cyanwood. No, that's where we are now. Olivine. Yeah. We got an ice move for Celebi. I think this is going to be our final moveset. Unless Celebi can learn Ice Beam, in which case that's going to be our final moveset. So, I think we did pretty good today. Got a lot of stuff done. And the game's kind of picking up its pace, so we'll be able to get through I don't know if we'll finish the game relatively soon. Well, not like in the next 2 or 3 episodes, but within the next, I don't know, 5 to 10 episodes, 20 episodes, 60 episodes. I don't really know. I don't know where I'm going anymore. But yeah, we're gonna obviously finish this game. I want to try to make it a point to finish as many games as possible. The ones that I start at least on this channel. So we'll see what happens, but I really should be stopping at this point. We'll get up to the top floor and then we'll call it there. But yeah, I don't know. I sometimes it bothers me if I don't finish a game that I start. Sometimes. But at the same time, I've talked about this on my podcast actually, and that's not just a plug to go listen to the podcast, but it's something that I've thought about a lot, is that just because I start a game doesn't mean I have to finish. And I go into that in more detail when I on the podcast episode, which I forget which episode it is, but you should just go listen to it anyway. And I'll tell you which episode it is next time, because I don't remember, but I can look it up when I'm between episodes. So thank you all for watching, and I will talk to you all next time.